the USS carrier Randolph. We are just started. The chute is open. It is descending at the present time. The carrier is put dead ahead into the landing spot of Gus Grissom, the new astronaut of the United States. With the Randolph here, everyone's saying it's dead ahead. The cameras are pointing out. Everybody's excited, and the helicopters are down low on the horizon at the present time. Those helicopters will go in, and helicopter Marine Group, number 3, is number 32, I should say, is trying to go in and pick up the capsule for the astronaut himself to choose and elect to climb out of the capsule. Aboard that first helicopter are James L. Lewis, Jr., First Lieutenant of Western Texas, and John R. Remhart, First Lieutenant and co-pilot from Bloomington, Illinois, accompanied by 2 other Marine helicopters and 2 Navy helicopters with Scott Grumma. So high on the horizon, here comes one of the planes that's been scouting the area, touching the flight area of the astronaut as well. They're moving into the about a mile and a half or 2 miles ahead of us. At this time, we're going to have difficulty in seeing, and we'll try to get the glasses on to see if we can get the astronaut. He is now just landed into the water. He is landed in the water and is down, receiving the parachute forward behind him, quite a distance from the carrier, receiving at good speed. We'd say about 20, 25 knots toward the landing spot of the... They're making the pickup attempt at the present time, and they're moving into position. The first helicopter, number 32, the will pick up Gus Grissom, is getting ready to take him aboard the helicopter. They'll drop that long cable. He'll get into the plane and climb out of the helicopter in all probability. Since this flight was perfect, and it's landed, it's here, it's a success, and Americans done it again. So everybody aboard the carrier is, the attention is off, the faces are up and smiling. We'll wait. We'll set the scene for you while we're waiting to see how he comes out of the helicopter. The forward deck of the carrier is completely clear of planes except for one, an emergency plane that's been standing by. The helicopter that brings him in here, number 32, will land directly on the port side of the plane, directly opposite us. At that time, the astronaut will be met by the doctors here and other people. They'll be met there, and then immediately he will be given a test for his breathing capacity for the head-on-air induced. And they feel they want to get his breathing capacity as soon as they possibly can. Then he'll walk across the deck of the carrier, which is different than when Alan Shepard landed. He'll walk across the deck of the carrier to a forward hatch, go in and go below to the captain's port cabin. There he will be interviewed briefly by the doctors and given a full examination. The examination will be completed in the captain's bedroom. Questions will be asked. He will debrief himself, and all will be taped recorded. From that point on, it will take about half an hour or an hour. We'll have reports of the Marine helicopters as they bring him back, and they will be able to tell us what his words were. We also will hear from the doctor and get a report on his physical condition. On the sound of the provider itself, it sounded that it would be very, very good, and he seems happy all the way. We also will have reports from all points on this carrier here. Now, we cannot at the present time see the helicopter itself as it hovers over just on the horizon, quite a ways away. We're steaming toward it. This aircraft carrier has good speed, and it will only be a few minutes, about 5 minutes more. For reaction, we return you now to Cape Canaveral, and we will return back here the first moment we see the helicopter start back to the ship. So, properly aboard the USS Randolph.
Now, in summary, Liberty Bell 7 lifted off Cape Canaveral at 12:20, and that's Greenwich Mean Time. All systems appeared to operate A-OK. The voice communications from Gus Grissom were clear and effective. The helicopter is about to hook on. We should have a confirmation of the helicopter hooking onto the Mercury spacecraft in just a few seconds.
No further report, flight.
I am not able to make a positive confirmation of liftout, but I do know that the helicopter has hooked on and is preparing to pull Gus Grissom out of the spacecraft into the helicopter. have a report coming from the recovery forces.
Shut up. Astronaut is completing his readout before he makes egress. He's going to complete it before he gets out of the capsule.
We're advised that as a result of communications with Gus Grissom floating in the water, he's told his recovery helicopters that he intends to finish his checklist and make sure that everything is secure in the cockpit before he opens the hatch to come out. And this sounds like typical Gus Grissom. He was not about to do anything until he was sure everything had been done and in a businesslike manner.
This is McGee back in New York, and a moment ago you saw some pictures of a helicopter lifting a space capsule out of the water. Those were films made of the trial runs, the practice and training for this program, and were not actual scenes of Grissom being lifted out of the water at this time. We just wanted to interrupt long enough to explain to you that that was film and not the real thing.
Who is doing his job.
All right, let's get out of that goddamn thing.
All of the people here in the Mercury Control Center are still standing by with headphones glued to their heads, listening for any little bit of information from Gus Grissom. At the same time, they're beginning to summarize the things that they read from their consoles during the flight. The flight surgeon, Dr. Stanley C. White, as earlier in the flight, at about the time that we knew the main parachute was out and that everything would be A-OK, turned and gave Walt Williams the traditional joined finger signal that said A-OK. Now we are still standing by. We are still standing by in the control center for Gus Grissom to wind up his checklist procedures, to open the hatch and be lifted up into the helicopter. I would think that it would go without saying that I am sitting in the midst of a group of men here right this instant who look very happy, who are very pleased, and who have done a very professional job. We are waiting now for communications from the recovery forces to confirm to us that Mercury astronaut Gus Grissom has left his spacecraft and has come up into the helicopter. I expect this confirmation just momentarily. And we are standing by in the Mercury Control Center. We are now trying to bridge the radio link.
That is one of the chase planes being piloted by one of the other astronauts. They are on each of these flights set up to keep visual observation of the capsule as long as they can. And this one is, this particular one, I believe, is being flown by astronaut Gordon Cooper, and they're circling around in the area there at Cape Canaveral.
And into our consoles here in the control center. standing by, waiting for radio communication to tell us that the United States' second spaceman has been picked up and placed on the deck of the ship.